know KDP is not like what I'm gonna share here with you right now. They're probably gonna dislike this very much, but I feel like it needs to be said, and it's quite a few points, so make sure you pull yourself up a seat, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and slap down a banana sticker or a thumbs up on this video if you agree on any of these points. Let's go ahead and start out with this whole thing of KDP and their sweet spot pricing. Man, if you're not aware of this, you're only able to get 70% of a royalty of any sale when you are priced between $2.99 and $9.99 for your ebooks. If you price it outside that region, well, guess what? You get 35%. Yeah, you get penalized. Now, I think this sucks on so many different levels. It sets customer expectations at a different level, it undercuts other books on the marketplace, and it devalues what the author actually brings to the table. I mean, for instance, what if I wanted to price my book at $19.99? Why should I be penalized for pricing it higher? Because it's of value. Why should you devalue that? Why should you give me the same amount at $19.99 as what I would have at $9.99? It doesn't make sense. Other platforms like Apple, Barnes & Noble Press, Google Play Books, and more have no exceptions to the rule. You get 70% of each sale on those platforms, regardless of the price. Okay? KDP, why haven't you caught up with your competitors yet? Let's discuss that KDP Select issue here and how it influences the Amazon bestseller rank. Now, I know this isn't going to sit well for some authors pulling in the cheddar through the KDP Select program, but I'm at peace with that. However, if you hear me out, it might be a win-win for everyone involved here. Ebooks enrolled in KDP Select get a bevy of sweet marketing options, as we all are aware, and some opportunities that other authors not exclusive to the KDP platform would get. One of those advantages I feel is just a little too much. I got a serious question for you, the viewer, all right? Just answer this inside the comments. When you hear bestseller, what does that mean to you? I'll give you a second to answer in the comments. Time's up. If you responded by saying bestseller meant a book sells actual copies, you'd be wrong on Amazon. Apparently, you do not need to sell a single solitary copy to have a best-selling book on the Amazon platform. What happened to sales as the measuring stick for bestseller status? I know we're in a new era of self-publishing, but I didn't think we'd bend the word bestseller. Why not create a separate ranking system for Kindle Unlimited and Kindle sales so they're separate? KDP has already done that with the model of Kindle Vella platform, so what's the hang-up?
Am I missing something?
If we're all about making a great customer experience, then why are we confusing or even fooling them into believing ebooks are doing something that they are not? Speaking of fooling people, category squatters. Oh, have you heard of this one before? Yeah, category squatters are people that go and snatch up the wrong categories and put it on their books in hopes of actually making more sales because, oh wow, I'm going to become #1 bestseller in toe fungus with my erotica book. Congrats, you did good there, champ. We're proud of you, yeah. KDP allows you to select 2 categories in the first step of your publishing process. Based on the keywords and BISAC selection, Amazon automatically places you into 1 to 3 of their categories, or as they call it, their browse paths. Though you select the BISAC in the dashboard, doesn't mean you'll end up in that exact category. After all, Amazon has their own categories and merely use selections, and our recommendations are pretty much just kind of recommendations. Well, the cool part is you can have up to 10 browse paths per publication type. 10 for your ebook, 10 for your paperback, and 10 for your hardcover. When you find the appropriate browse paths for your books on Amazon, simply go into your dashboard, hit the Contact Us feature, and the rest is fairly simple to complete. Just ask them to add your book to those categories, and you should be all set. But some jackwagon decided,
oh, I'm going to find a category that I can easily place in the #1 spot. Then all I have to do is sell 1 or 2 copies to make it big on Amazon. Ha ha ha! I've got everyone fooled.
No, you don't. No, you don't. The problem is they select the wrong freaking categories just because they think getting #1 bestseller status with 1 sale every other day is a big victory, or that they'll get more algorithmic love from Amazon by being a bestseller. Let me explain it in simple terms here. If you go to the library and you want to find a good children's book, now imagine how you would feel as a parent if you were browsing the children's section only to find erotica books or adult humor journals. You'd be confused and quite possibly concerned. Well, you wouldn't be the only one concerned here because KDP has had enough lately. They have been actively auditing accounts, and where they find titles with improper category placement, they suspend the account holder. The bigger issue is KDP is closing down accounts who are not abusing the system. Heck, YouTube channel host and successful indie author Sarah Sutton shared her scary experience of being wrongly suspended based on category selection. When pressed about what category she selected that was wrong, they provided a browse path she wasn't even using. By the way, check out Sarah's video, My KDP Account Was Suspended. It's a long one, but worth every minute for authors to pay very close attention to. Until KDP can create a safer way to manage category selection, maybe they should put all requests on hold, clean up the system they have now, then actively enforce this new policy with the stricter category selection stance. After all, whose fault is it really? The authors or the KDP's fault for applying the improper categories? The authors can't apply that. Why isn't someone saying you can't have that? KDP needs to take responsibility for this one here. And speaking of category placement, what is the deal? I'm starting to sound like a Seinfeld stand-up here. What is the deal with no actual categories for low-content books? It is. I mean, and by the way, if you don't want low-content books, they're all the craze right now for people who want to publish notebooks, diaries, journals, planners, and more. And despite the millions in revenue made from low-content books today on Amazon, KDP finally address the elephant in the room. This is years of this being used on their platform. We ended up getting some tips and deeper insights on how KDP treats lower content books. They even kicked us a nice little box that identifies our book as low content and removed the ability to use ISBNs, which isn't terrible in and of itself. But the one part that confuses me most is that KDP is actively closing down accounts for misusing categories, but they won't allow low-content book publishers the proper categorization it rightly deserves. What are you going to do? Shut down every single one of these accounts because it's not categorized properly? By the way, please don't shut down all those accounts. There's a lot of good people that are earning a pretty good substantial living out of this, or at least a part-time living. I think it would crush them if you did that. Look, the customer mindset is different from one product type and the other. Fiction and nonfiction readers are probably not looking for a journal when they're shopping on Amazon, and anyone looking for a journal probably isn't in the mood to read a book. Those two customer subsets share the same end result, which is they have books, but how they consume it is entirely different. Categorizing low-content books with fiction and nonfiction books makes about as much sense as selling a pizza listed in a salad category. No, pizzas aren't salad, folks. I know this is a lot of work, but given the attention it needs, everyone wins. The account holder, KDP, and the customer. Why would you even say no? And we have to address the elephant in the room. I've said a few of these, but the suspensions and terminations is just out of control on KDP. Man, I've seen some people destroyed over the years, but it's really getting ugly lately. Now, I've been there before. Look, I've even discussed this on this channel before when I got suspended for doing some stupid things. This is well before my YouTube days. And quite a few peers and friends have had the stomach-turning discovery that their accounts are suspended or terminated. It's a horrible feeling, and worst of all, no priority is placed on addressing concerns over suspension and terminations. Heck, some account holders are never even given a chance to explain, make it right, or even have a meaningful interaction. KDP can't be bothered sometimes, and authors are left with their hopes crushed and KDP success dreams dashed. There needs to be a direct line or option for recently suspended or terminated authors. In some cases, they rely on the income generated from KDP, so why treat them as guilty until proven innocent? There needs to be a better internal arbitration system so KDP can treat each author with respect until otherwise proven to be unworthy of that respect. Maybe this could be a separate system that's accessible only to recent suspensions and terminations. KDP, hey, I often tell authors to treat you and your employees with respect and professionalism. Isn't it time you return the same? We're all human beings, just trying to do the best we can on each side. While some of us slip up, there are others who are making it clear and very honest effort at leveraging your platform in the way you want them to. But there are some, I understand. And of course, some of those exceptions are copycats and pirates. This is always going to be a problem, I understand this, but now I'm hearing from the indie author community that some authors are getting takedown notices for their intellectual property, something that they did first in them. How does that work? A copycat publishes a book with the same title, slight cover variation, and some crappy ghost-written drivel for a manuscript. Huh? Or some third-party sellers drop ship bogus versions of your book, yet somehow manage to go undetected. With all the data at Amazon's fingertips, how are pirated books making it onto the platform still? And how will the author be compensated for loss in revenue? It seems the pirated booksellers should pay all earnings or refund the customers. Just remember to send them an email telling them,
Whoops, we messed up. We let a few bad actors into our platform and kind of had you buy their bogus product. Here's your money back.
I'm sure it'd be a PR nightmare, but at least people would respect you more for owning your mistake. I'm done talking on this point, because KDP can do their best to hold off the copycats and pirates, but they'll never get rid of them 100%. It's just facts. And let's address this whole deal of no direct contact and the boilerplate responses that we get via email. Back in the day, there was an actual phone number you could call to speak with someone in KDP. Not anymore. Sure, in the US, you can get phone support through their site or even email support, but in other regions, you only get the email support.
Brief commercial interruption here by Future Dale. Actually, you can see inside the dashboard, there is now a live support feature. It looks like it's open from 4A to 4P, so that's something right there. So continue on.
And this sucks when you need to get a problem resolved, because you can start a ticket, but you cannot continue a ticket in most cases. So if the KDP rep didn't fully understand you or misunderstand you altogether, you're stuck with the answer they give with no real recourse except to start a new ticket. I understand there are exceptions to the rule, but in most cases, account holders get a generic boilerplate response, and oftentimes the answer is so ambiguous you don't even know what to do with it. My favorite canned response, see if you agree with me on this one, is when they send you to their help page or terms and conditions and say, you'll find your answer here. Can't you just tell me? You're the one who's the expert. You're the one who's in the know. What the heck is this? Where's Waldo of Amazon? How about you just give me my answer and assume I did my best in finding the answer in your help pages and through Google? What about this new reports tab? Man, is it shiny and it's really beautiful and it's really great, but it's wonky.
Hey, I've got a great idea. Let's update our KDP dashboard so the sales report page looks more modern and offers more features.
Great idea, KDP. I love it. I love it. You know, let's go with this. I mean, we're spitballing ideas, but it looks fantastic. When it launched back in beta a few years ago, I was gung-ho to use it until I wasn't. If you're unaware, your reports tab in the KDP dashboard now defaults to the new reporting page, and they've even assured us the old reports page will be around for a little bit longer while we transition to the new dashboard. But the problem is that new feature is wonky as hell. My browser times out anytime I select a different tab on the left-hand side. I know I'm being impatient and I'm being nitpicky and I got to give it some time. In the meantime, I highly recommend, if it's acting wonky, report it through the Contact Us feature in your dashboard. That's the going theme in this video today. They can't know what to fix unless we all tell them. Let's talk about that inability to delete or archive books inside your KDP dashboard. If cleanliness is next to godliness, then we're definitely far from holy at this point. For a brief month or two, around like 2016, 2017, I can't remember the exact year for sure, KDP allowed you to delete your book from your account. Well, for whatever reason, they did not like us having that feature, and it was gone fast. The issue is, as your business matures on KDP, you'll end up publishing quite a few books, even making second or third or even fourth editions of a single book. Now imagine doing that for the next few years. What's your account going to look like? It's going to look like a good episode of A Bad Case on the show Hoarders. If we can't have the ability to delete a publication, could we at least have the ability to archive it? If the small indie publishing platform Smashwords, big shout out to Mark Coker by the way, could get that right, why can't Amazon do that? It's a small feature, big payoff. It's another win-win here for KDP. And hey, here's a really cool feature. I love it, except it's not in KDP's dashboard. Author Central. What gives? Yeah, okay, all right. Just give me a second, all right? Don't be clicking away, because there's a reason for this. Rather than have two sites, why not make Author Central a tab in the KDP dashboard? I can appreciate it's linked in the marketing tab, but life would be so much easier if we did the same thing we did to Create Space back in 2018. Merge the Author Central account with the KDP account. Then it's one login, one location, and less friction. Hey, speaking of Author Central, did you know I did an entire series covering everything you need to know about this platform? And even better, you can leverage your author profile for more discoverability on Amazon and hopefully sell more books. I'll find you on over here. Hey, you got to go over this video. Otherwise, I won't stop hitting my chest. Please go over that video. It hurts. I'm bruising. And I'll see you there.